For centuries, the name Tartaria has lingered in the shadows of historical memory, a vast empire supposedly stretching from the icy wastes of Siberia all the way to the gates of China, marked on hundreds of ancient maps and referenced in texts from the age of exploration. Yet, ask the average person today about Tartaria, and you'll be met with blank stares. How could an entire civilization, so prominent in the records of the 15th through 19th centuries, simply vanish from our collective knowledge? Some say this is no accident. They claim Tartaria was deliberately erased from history, its secrets locked away by academic institutions and governments, its ruins left to gather dust, forgotten by time. But what is the truth behind this enigmatic name, and why does Tartaria continue to spark fierce debate between historians and conspiracy theorists? The story of Tartaria begins not with a unified nation, but with a word. Tartary was a term coined by European mapmakers and chroniclers, a catch-all for the vast, mysterious lands that lay beyond the familiar frontiers of Russia and China. Its roots trace back to the word Tatar, itself derived from the powerful Turkic and Mongol peoples who dominated the steppes. Layered with Greek myth, where Tartarus represented the deepest abyss of the underworld, the name took on sinister overtones in the minds of medieval Europeans, coloring their perceptions of the peoples and places they barely understood. To them, Tartaria was a place of barbarians, a realm of nomads and khans, where vast armies roamed and empires rose and fell in the blink of an eye. But the reality, as uncovered by careful scholarship, is more nuanced. Tartaria was never a single empire. The maps that labeled Great Tartary, Chinese Tartary, and Russian Tartary were not recording a unified civilization, but rather grouping together dozens, sometimes hundreds, of distinct tribes, khanates, and nomadic cultures. From the Mongol Golden Horde to the Crimean and Kazan khanates, from the fierce Dzungars to the pastoral Siberian peoples, the region was a patchwork of shifting allegiances and ever-changing borders. The term Tartary functioned as a placeholder, a solution for European cartographers faced with the daunting task of mapping lands they had never seen, relying on the reports of merchants, travelers, and hearsay. As Russian and Chinese expansion slowly carved out new boundaries, and as scientific exploration brought more accurate geographic knowledge, the term gradually faded from the maps, replaced by the names of modern nations and administrative divisions. Yet, in the age of the internet, Tartaria has found new life, not in academic circles, but in the depths of conspiracy theory forums and alternative history communities. Here, the story shifts dramatically. According to these theories, Tartaria was not a loose collection of nomads, but a global superpower, technologically advanced beyond anything we can imagine. Its cities were said to be built with massive stone blocks, their architecture featuring impossible domes and spires, electrical wonders and machines lost to time. The sudden disappearance of Tartaria from history books is, they claim, evidence of a vast cover-up, an attempt by the powers that be to hide the true history of humanity. What archaeologists discovered next will shock you. In cities across Russia, Central Asia, and even in the heart of Europe and America, 19th century buildings stand as silent sentinels to a forgotten past. Their facades are adorned with intricate carvings and colossal columns, their engineering feats seemingly out of reach for the technology of their time. Conspiracy theorists point to these structures as proof. How could our ancestors, with horse-drawn carts and primitive tools, construct such wonders? Some claim these buildings were not built in the last 2 centuries, but far earlier, by the lost Tartarians. Official records, they say, are forged or incomplete, hiding the true origins of these marvels. But the evidence tells a different story. Modern historians and architects have meticulously documented the construction of these buildings, tracing the evolution of styles like neoclassicism and Art Nouveau. The Industrial Revolution brought with it new materials, steel, concrete, and glass, allowing architects to reach heights previously unimaginable. World's fairs showcase the latest innovations, and cities like St. Petersburg, Moscow, and Chicago underwent systematic redevelopment. Their grand avenues and monumental buildings designed by teams of engineers whose names are preserved in archives and blueprints. The conspiracy unravels under the weight of construction records, engineering documents, and photographs of works in progress. Yet the questions persist. Was there a deliberate attempt to erase an advanced civilization from history, or are we simply drawn to the mysteries that lurk in history's blind spots? The legend of Tartaria is fueled by more than old maps and architecture. It thrives on the gaps in our understanding, the places where official history seems silent. Why do so few textbooks mention Tartaria? Why did the term disappear so suddenly, replaced by more precise designations? The answer, according to mainstream scholarship, lies in the normal evolution of geographic knowledge, as explorers charted the steppes and mountains, as scientists mapped rivers and trade routes. The old, vague terms gave way to the names of real peoples and places. The Tatars, Mongols, Kazakhs, Uzbeks, and countless others preserved their own histories, languages, and traditions, often in the face of colonial expansion and forced integration. The story of Central Asia is not one of erasure, but of transformation, of ancient cultures adapting to the rise of empires and the coming of modern nation-states. Still, the allure of hidden knowledge is powerful. Human minds are wired to seek patterns, to connect dots that may not be related, to distrust authority, and embrace the idea that the truth has been hidden for thousands of years. In the age of social media, these beliefs spread rapidly, amplified by echo chambers and sensationalized content. The dramatic narrative of a lost civilization, suppressed by shadowy institutions, its ruins standing in plain sight, offers a sense of belonging, a glimpse into a world where history is not what it seems. This is the psychology of conspiracy, where complexity is replaced by simple explanations and confirmation bias reigns supreme. But the real story of Tartaria is not one of global empires or advanced machines. It is the story of the Silk Road, winding its way through the steppes and deserts, connecting east and west. It is the legacy of the Mongol conquests, the rise and fall of Khanates, the rich tapestry of nomadic cultures whose oral traditions and artistic achievements shape the destiny of continents. It is the gradual incorporation of these lands into the Russian and Chinese empires, the birth of modern nations like Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, and Mongolia. It is the story of scholars, travelers, and explorers who sought to understand the world, one map at a time. So what remains of Tartaria? Ruins and artifacts, legends and folklore, the ghosts of empires that once were. The questions linger. Was there more to the story than we know? Are there secrets still waiting to be uncovered in the frozen tundra or the endless steppe? The truth may be stranger than fiction. New discoveries continue to challenge our understanding, revealing civilizations that defy conventional timelines and technologies that seem impossible. The lost world of Tartaria may never be fully understood, but its mystery endures, a reminder that history is written not just in books, but in the stones beneath our feet. What will archaeologists discover next? The answers may change everything we thought we knew about human history.